Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 13. Today we're going to be playing with the Papercraft Dragon Fizz and Riven deck. And so a couple of things to get into with it. If you're not familiar with the kind of overall idea with the deck, it's looking to get these really super big combats through Papercraft Dragon. And so kind of the idea is once you give whatever the attached unit is overwhelm, then you can come in and just crush in for tons of damage. And so if we're looking at kind of like the overwhelm path, you can go with the Blade Squire into Runeweaver, into Riven, play Riven Sword on 4, and then the Papercraft Dragon on 5. That'll give you a 12 attack, double attacking Overwhelm Riven. It's a pretty reasonable way to come in and close out a game. Or if you're looking to go the kind of safer route, you can just load up Fizz with the Papercraft Dragon and try to get in for some elusive attacks. And so a single Papercraft on Fizz will help you get in for 8 in a turn. And then if you're needing to close out the game from that point, you can still chunk in a bunch of spells like Elixir of Wrath, or you can play Ruined Reckoner to get a second attack in. And so that's the kind of general idea with the deck. We'll come back to it in just a moment, but I wanted to pull up on the Balco site the matchups with this, and this was what I found to be kind of interesting with it. This is kind of with it in mind of what we've been doing in the gauntlets. And so if we're looking to play best of 3, the strategy we've taken across the past few weeks is we want to play a deck that just gets crushed by Yuumi Pantheon. As we see with this deck here, this is another one that kind of fits the bill. It's got about a 46% win rate against Yuumi Pantheon, got a 44% win rate down here against Pantheon Taric. Something that is pretty naturally good against Darkness and the other mid-rangey decks. That's where we're going to see Sin of Vagar looks like a positive matchup. Trundle Gnar looks like the pretty even one. Bandle Tree is slightly positive. And then we're looking to just kind of edit our deck a little bit to be better against the aggro decks. And this is the one where it kind of worries me a little bit. The lineup that we've been bringing is Scouts with Stony Suppressors. We've been bringing Action Sivir, and then we've been bringing this kind of flex in the third space. So last week we played with Talia Ziggs, and this is what I'm looking to kind of perhaps replace Talia Ziggs. So the frightening thing with this is it gets absolutely annihilated by Scouts. Has a 26% win rate against Scouts across 80 matches as well. That's quite a few matches. If this was like 10 matches, then maybe I would take it with a bit of a grain of salt, but 80 matches is significant enough to realize that this just gets annihilated by Scouts. Also has a slightly negative matchup against Action Sivir, but it's pretty good against the rest of the field, right? If we ignore these Pantheon matchups, then it looks pretty decent. And so we will kind of like keep in mind, I don't know if I want to play this more than Talia Ziggs. But that's what we're making this video for today, just to get a little bit more experience with it. I've already played 10 or 15 or so games with it, and feeling fairly comfortable, and haven't really come across any of these numbers that I would want to change around. But again, this is looking to start off, fairly aggressively. We have the Blade Squire, Yordle Squire openers, the Rune Weaver to continue on the curve. Fizz, of course, an additional 1-drop, and then you can usually chunk in 6 or 8 damage, or at least keep your opponent's units off the board, and then you're going for that big double strike overwhelm turn, whether or not that's with the Riven Sword plus the dragon, using Might plus the dragon. Either way, you can get those big attacks in, and then the finisher and Ruined Reckoner. And so the thing I wanted to kind of like come back and mention and talk about is the place where this is kind of weak in the terms of the matchups is if your opponent is able to interact with what you're doing or not. And so you might struggle a bit with this on the ladder where you can't really pick and choose what you're playing against, but in best of 3, you can pick and ban out whatever your opponent is going to be bringing the worst to you with. And so if you're out here, say we're up against an opponent that isn't playing Pantheon whatsoever, and then we're able to just ban off their interactive deck, then that could put this in a pretty decent space, right? The kind of the problem with the Yuumi Pantheon and all of those decks is that they all play removal spells and hushes. The Demacia-based decks where this struggles with the Action Sivers and with the Scouts of the world are playing challengers and single combats and the like, and so it really struggles against those. But you know, if you're up against, say, lurkers that's just putting stats on the board, then you can really come in and annihilate those. And so I'm not convinced that this is a real strong ladder climber. You know, you're going to run into too much Yuumi Pantheon for this to feel like really good about, but it still carries a positive win rate anyways. It's just, I think this is a fairly interesting concept in best of 3, and so we're not playing best of 3 today, but this is where we're going to be taking this and running along. And so, what we have to do first, though, we do have to pay the pay-to-win price. I've already got it pulled up. We are going to be upgrading Might today. This is going to come through and be important at some point. I was really surprised that we hadn't upgraded Might across all of our expeditions, given that this was in the Foundation set, and we've been paying the pay-to-win price here for a while, and so. Feels good. Feels good to finally come out here and get it upgraded. We didn't have to upgrade a rare, and feeling good. I can tell we're going to get a big Papercraft Might kill today, and it's going to feel great. And so, yeah, the thing that kind of like worries me with this in comparison to Talia Ziggs is with Talia Ziggs and this, we both finish in a fairly similar way, right? We're looking to deal a bit of early aggressive damage, and then we're going to get this big like overwhelm attack in at the end of the game. Whereas with Talia Ziggs, we're doing it with overwhelm plus one of the flipped champions, and then here with this, we're doing it with the Papercraft Dragon. But the thing with Talia Ziggs is just like a little bit more resilient, right? It's able to just get on board. You can get some value out of Talia. You can get some double values out of the guy that makes the sarcophagus, and so they aren't as all in as this deck is. But this deck is, capable of blasting your opponent for like 40 in a turn, and so it's a little bit different, but there's definitely some like raw power differences in how these games get closed out, where this could just be like the better way to do it, where we're able to try and get in these extra chunks of damage. All right, well, we just got to slam onto the Vanguard Sergeant here. I'm not sure where he goes. I would suspect he wants to just take down the Runeweaver, but if he doesn't have any interactivity in his hand, I could see him wanting to block the Riven. He's got a Shape Stone, that's fine. Rip Riven. This is one of these spaces where I haven't like quite decided if I like those attacks to where we aren't out here generating the swords anymore. But I think it still feels pretty okay. We want to go with the Flame Spitter here. Let's get a good powerful attack in with old Conchologist here. If opponent doesn't add anything to the board, we get to just slam in. All right. I wonder how well he can interact with this. I think we'll stop here. This is a good 5 damage chunk. Takes him to 12. Then we can build up to a Riven Sword attack on our next turn. Got to take a moment and see what they play, but with the Runeweaver edition, that'll be our 3rd fragment. And if we're able to drop a Riven Sword on our opponent's turn, then we have a big open attack next turn with also a Ruined Reckoner. Oh, feels really good with Fizz. Pretty stoked to get in a Fizz attack. Could we just go ahead and play? Seems like a little dangerous, but I do like the idea of being able to Whirling Death down this Sandstone Charger, and I ultimately worry a little bit about what they have going on. I think he might be safe enough here, but we are looking to invest like 4 mana this turn in the Riven Sword. We'll play it onto Fizz. Yeah, that's a bummer. we definitely should have been a little bit more careful with him. I don't think we were at risk of dying. So now, if we stop and think about this, we'll just have to move the sword over to like Conchologist and hope and dream. we can see what we manifest. Maybe we'll hit something out of this. I don't think it's too likely. The stun is slightly interesting, but I think we're on a weapon hilt plan now. Okay. So how big do we want to go here? It's like I want to get like something out of the turn. I'm leaning towards like playing the Ruined Reckoner and then getting a free attack with a quick attacking Conchologist. And so then next turn we can just lead in with an open. This would have been a lot easier if we didn't just throw away our Fizz. But you live and you'll learn. You live and you'll learn. It's weird seeing the Ruthless Predator come out. Playing, at least from the one game the tracker recorded. Ruthless Predators is only interesting. So that would be coming in for 8, but we can get a block on it. That leaves us in a reasonable place to just be killing next turn. Okay. I mean, we can throw the Ruined Reckoner in front of this and prevent a large piece of the damage. Overwhelm. Do your thing, Conchologist. Not exactly the way I was expecting to go about our big booms for the turn. It just takes it interesting. I've been kind of punting this game a little bit. I failed to recognize that the Ruin Runner had that he also had barrier, so that could have been slightly problematic. But this is a powerful looking hit here, coming in for double 5 attacks plus an impact. Uh-oh. Move it back and forth. Problems abound. And we still got it. A little sloppy, but at the end of the day, able to get the win. Mark it a 1-0. All right, and so yeah, I'm glad we got to at least showcase a little bit of this in terms of not just booming with the Papercraft Dragon. It was kind of a scary spot that they have a little bit more interactivity than we really want to deal with. And then here, I would have to assume that this is a reasonable matchup against Zoe Aurelian Soul. I have a history for us. I'm curious what like the Demacia is out of this style of deck. But poor LOR Master, I didn't realize that they didn't have the there's like a couple of different levels of API keys to get to the Riot API. There's the I'm out here like messing around that doesn't really do anything. You can get like a small developer package that lets you do a little bit more requests, and you can get a hey, we're professionals type package that lets you just do tons and tons of stuff, and they haven't been able to get that professional package. So you run across things like the history not loading too quickly because it gets used too fast. But how do we feel about this? Hunt the Weak is probably a little bit too slow, but I'm trying to envision a scenario where we ever cast Vision, and I don't really suspect that's going to be the case either, but we may end up with some width to where I don't really think we're going to be dropping dropping the discard card. All right. Boom that Conchologist. And man, I was expecting there to be a patch this week. That one's on me. I had it convinced in my brain that there was a patch since it was like 2 weeks from the roadmap, but apparently we didn't get one. And so I was expecting there might be some minor things like a nerf to a Conchologist or a nerf to Gnar or something, but didn't see it this week. See, this is the kind of space to where vision could be okay. Oh, bringing in more stuff? What is this? Spacey Sketchers. I guess he is pretty decent here. Discards. Man, he's got all the cards. Alright, well. He is getting, like, ground down reasonably well. He's only got 3 cards in his hand at this point. Might be able to turn this around a little bit, but we need to just be, like, getting our combo assembled. Kill the weakest enemy, not super interested in. Let's just take the Nox and Fervor. Like, I guess that might be tough. We could find ourselves in a space to where, you know, we're going to play this Blade Squire, we're going to attack, the whole board's going to be empty, and then next turn he plays like a 6-drop. You know, that could have been a reasonable place for the dude. And Sharp Sight. Ugh, that's unfortunate. Okay. So we just need a Papercraft Dragon at this point. I think we'll still be like okay if he manages to turn up, and that this opposing deck doesn't seem really set up to deal with it. Targon is traditionally pretty horrible at at interacting with your opponent's stuff, and so if we pick up the Papercraft, we might be okay. We just got tons of spells in our hand at this point, though. Need a dude. Going to go big on Otterpuss. That's what it's starting to look like. -2 health or +2 cost on the charger. Let's just make an expensive charger. I don't think the size of the Golden Sister is going to be too relevant. Alright, there's the Papercraft. So we can do Papercraft plus Riven Sword this turn. It's not going to be enough for a kill, but it's pretty big. We already played the... Did we play the Quick Attack Fragment? Are we behind here? We are behind on the sword. Do we have time for these shenanigans, though? Like, what if we... Well, there's kind of like 2 things to this. It's like, what if we load up the Squire? I don't think it's good enough. I think we just have to attack with it. Like, it's really tough for our opponent to actually trade with this, right? We want the Squire to die so we can get the Reforge, but... it just kills all of his stuff. The 4 quick attack is going to kill like every unit that he has access to. So I think we have to just move this over to the Otterpuss and try and punch in this way. I guess if it like comes down to it, we can Nox and Fervor away the little dude, but it doesn't seem amazing. All right. Well, he's gonna let us start. he's gonna let us get a bit of this going. Take him to 4. So we might be able to take it down next turn. We have the other the other Overwhelm and the Riven Sword now. It's tempting to throw the Otterpuss in front of the Fangs, but I don't think that that's going to get us a victory here. Oh, this is unfortunate. He'll go to 14. I want to play the Riven Sword this turn so that we can open next turn. And then it's like if he has a Hush, he has a Hush, but. We only lose out on 2 attack doing it like this. Uh-oh, he causes. That can't be good. I'm not sure what Demacia they're playing. If it's a single combat, or I would imagine it's not, but here we have to worry about a have to worry about a hush. If he has a hush, we just lose.
I bow to no one. We have no quarrel.
All right, take him to 1 with the vision. That'll get us around the 1 or the heal 2 draw card thing. Now we get to slam this Nox and Fervor and see if that's going to be enough. Right to the face. Nice. Oh, get that Otterpuss in there. Okay. Good stuff. So yeah, hope you all are enjoying the holidays out there. If you haven't noticed, it's quite the run that in March. You have the Mario Day on March 10th. You have 311 Day on March 11th. You have Pi Day on the 14th. And then it's St. Patrick's Day today, at least for me. I'm not sure if that's an American holiday or not. It sounds like it should be fairly an American type thing. Taking another country's heritage celebration and making it our own. That sounds very very American. Just sprinkle a little Christianity and some and some racism on there, and you got some good to go stuff. But can't remember. I don't know if the people in Ireland are St. Patrick's Day supporters or celebrators or not, but I certainly don't miss it. I worked in a bar all through graduate school, and this was just the one of the miserable ones. It wasn't that bad if you get like the day shift, right? Because people on St. Patrick's Day like to just start boozing at like noon. And so if you worked with the day shift, it was kind of like dealing with people kind of like late at night on a regular day, to where they're a little too boozy but still having a good time. But if you work the evening shift or the night shift, is just those day drinkers are fucking shit faced in the evening. It was a pain in the ass to deal with. And I wasn't a bartender, so the money wasn't worth it. Like if you're a bartender, you have to love today. It's just your absolute biggest day of the year. But working the door and bar backing, it was not your favorite. Alrighty, on to battle here against the Darkness deck. This is one of these odd spaces to where the open attack can actually be kind of nice. It looks like he's got the Vile Feast here, which is brutal. This is why I often will advocate for just attacking here, to where they get the Vile Feast in combat, but it doesn't completely shut down your whole turn. But it looks like he switched his idea from playing the Vile Feast to playing the Loping Telescope. That's not something you usually see in Darkness, right? I don't feel like the Telescope is standard fare as far as the Darkness cards go. Here comes the Vile Feast, sure.
To serve the greater good. Only I can command darkness. Only I.
Let's see. Are any of you more interesting than the Otterpuss? I don't think so. I feel like we just need the unit to put on board. So I'm gonna take the Otterpuss here. Okay. Kind of an odd space. We don't have like a lot to do this turn. We can add the Reckoner, but we just kind of waste the additional attack thing. I mean, we did pick up Quick Attack. We could Quick Attack the Blade Squire and then try and get in an attack that way, but that does not sound exciting. I think I still want to get... Let's just pass and see what happens. I'm curious what happens if they play like a Darkness generator, and then if we're able to prank the Darkness. Nope. But we can make a we can start doing dragon stuff. Get our favorite play rolling in the Papercraft Dragon on the Otterpuss. Ready to boom. Vagar. Okay, he's only at 2 damage darkness, right? He hasn't managed to strike with the catalyzer yet. So we're at least safe in terms of him, of the Otterpuss now. Still unsure if we want to try and prank this stuff. I think we need to get the Ruined Reckoner down. He has good attacks here, especially if we... Oh, fuck, the Vagar boosts the thing now. Shit. That's my bad. Okay. At least, like, don't completely lose out because the thing comes back to our hand, but that was a misplay on me. Oh, gross. Sheriff Lariat Rose. Where's this? Oh, it comes from the telescope. Okay. Well, it is nice to hit the Vengeance, but it leaves me pretty scared. I don't think we're going to be able to overcome this. Here's a way to do it with Fizz. You don't have a lot of good protective spells, but this is how you can end the game. If we can get him up to... We don't necessarily have to get him up to 10, because he can make 3 attacks next turn. But it's gonna be a big ask to protect him the whole way. It's like we need to we need to use the Elixir of Wrath to get up to enough damage, but then we also need it to protect from Vengeance. So 6, we can play 2 Ruined Reckoners this turn, right? So we'll also get a Fizz flip, so this space should be good enough, but I don't... Might do it. We don't need to play the Tiny Spear, right? We probably should. It's not going to make a big difference, right? We're either going to win the game this turn or we're not. Yeah, if we win the game this turn, then it's over. He can't Vengeance anymore. Fuck. Nice. Nice work, Conchologist, coming through at the end of the day. So what happens if we Elixir of Wrath? He's going to go up to 5? That's still enough. We have Double Strike. So that'll hit for 10, and then we need the Ruined Reckoner attack to work. Wish we had another spell of appropriate speed. He's not playing any cards, which is kind of scary, but maybe he's just stuck with like a heal or something. We can beat that. Come on, Fizz, I believe in you, my dude. Vile Feast, that's not enough. LOL. Nice, nice. I was struggling a bit there. I was doing those mathematics, not counting in Double Strike, and so I was thinking that we were going to have to hit 3 times for the full 20 damage, but double strike getting the work done. Nice. That shit is frustrating though. Just running into the there's a handful of cards that would have worked for the Conchologist. I think we could have beat Narstun. I think the free attacks still happen even if your unit is stunned, and so if it wasn't stress defense there, then we would have been hitting for like 28. But the stress defense is definitely a scary one, definitely a strong hit on the Conchologist. Okay, now we gotta. This is a matchup I have to imagine is pretty abysmal. Fizz seems like the way that we'll need to go against this. It's just as we have to run into things like Three Sisters, and Three Sisters giving a flash freeze. Like we can manage with Fizz and playing against the likes of like the slower removal spells, but this is where it's important to save him and keep him safe. We won't throw him in front of the ruthless predators this time. Got all the protection for him. We just need the papercraft now. Does that have to target him? Targeting. These are not compelling cards. Okay. Rip Fizz. See what big booms we can get out of the face sprouts. You can steal a bunch of games you don't win with these things, since they're able to hit some pretty powerful cards. We'll start off with the Rainbow Fish here, but you can be against aggro and manage to hit like the 4/2 lifesteal. Hitting the elusive unit here was pretty cool. So lots of power can come out of these face sprouts. It's one of those cards that slightly worries me. In terms of, the forever cards. It's like, are we going to have to worry about whatever phase get printed in the future because of this card? Maybe, maybe not, but nice to manifest into everyone's favorite Loping Telescope. If we need to continue the chain of card advantage, we can jump right in on the Fangs. I think he's okay here. I'm a little more interested in the Hothead, just to give us another good attacker. Like the Fangs, I don't feel like our health is ever relevant in this match. And that's like, well, maybe the Crescent Strike is relevant since it can shut down all of his blockers, but I don't think that's ultimately necessary. Now we are in this space to where we can play the Hothead. Well, he's dead now, but I was going to say maybe we get to trade away the Otterpuss. Leave the Hothead around and then move the Rainbow Fish over. All right, Yordle Squire, you're in. Blade Squire, you're about to make the cut. And then we'll drop the Rainbow Fish. I don't think we really want to take the time to Rainbow Fish a Riven. He's going to drop a Nivea next turn. I guess this is one of these combo decks, right? To where they're going to play a Nivea and then try and get a bunch of eggs on the board. Sure. Alright, we can boom from multiple angles. Now, I don't think the Fizz is the way to go here. I'm going to switch into Riven and see what we can assemble here. It's like I assume he's just going to kill like one of our units, but we get a bit of protection. It's okay. Maybe we don't go for the sword this turn. He can still vengeance if he wants, but you know, have quick attack. 2 attack, quick attack. Here we go. That's where we'll stop, the quick attack and the overwhelm. We're never going to lethal this turn, but we need to kind of set ourselves up in a space to where we can threaten it in the future. It's gonna take us a bit of damage. It's like I don't know if we'll ever really get there against this style of deck since they play so much heal. They're basically just playing every removal and every heal in the game, and then trying to do shenanigans with the Nivea. But so definitely don't want to block with Riven. She's going to like he has this Blighted Ravine in hand. I'd prefer her to survive it. I think we just take this damage. We're out of atrocity range for the moment, and so I like staying safe that way. And then we'll just have to try and win next turn. But the awkward thing for us now is he has this Blighted Ravine in hand, and so I don't want to play Fizz and have him just die to the AoE. I want to see what kind of mana he spends before we invest the rest of our hand. Looks like this is going to be not awesome. There's the Ravine, sure. Alright, so Riven survives it. The kind of interesting thing with this, it's like I know he has the Vengeance in his hand, but we can Rainbow Fish. It's like, why did he play the Vile Feast? Was it just to gain the health, or was it to get Riven to 1? And now it's like we can Rainbow Fish Riven. This will give her the additional +3 attack. And it might be an angle for us to take this game down, but I want to open with it in case he's going to try and hit her with some kind of 1 damage ping. But without the Papercraft, I feel like we're going to be a little bit short. This Anivia is going to flip next turn and be right on the edge of killing us. Maybe Wallop does something. But where are we at? He's still got this Vengeance. I would assume that that's going to be his angle. There's no way we're getting Fizz up to 16 this turn. Alright, some of these, we're officially at 16 now. And again, this isn't going to be enough, but maybe you'll try to Vengeance Fizz. That's right, that's on the radar, that's an option. Oh, I saw it come down and I was like, oh shit, he's playing it. Okay. So let's see if he opens. That's going to be the big thing for us this turn. Is if he doesn't open with a Nivea and we get to hit her with the Wallop, we're just so much safer. That didn't happen. Oh, we should have flipped that around. That was silly. I wasn't paying attention that the AoE was going to hit us off the edge of the board, or hit her on our bench. We're sloppy today. A little bit of slop from Bust. We're still taking down some matches, but definitely not our best work. Sure. All right, well, we were close to lethal. Depends on what we pick up here. All right. That's a way to get a W right there. Yeah, I'm sure he has some kind of removal amongst the entirety of his hand, but we got the chance to snatch a victory. Sure. But you know, that's a horrible matchup, and we found ourselves in a space to win, and so that was pretty good, even with our mishaps along the way there. I feel like that's about the most that you can ask for. So he did manage to have, you know, the multiple vengeances and the multiple ways to deal with us actually inside of combat, and with the terrible matchups like this, those are the spaces as to where you'll actually get a win. Is when you get in for an extra damage. But that game would have been like really out of hand if we didn't have a have that the elusive the rainbow fish.
Join the hunters this.
Tristan Artimo. What do you think about adding Fizz? Like, take a quick peek at the deck list. They do have Pokey Stick, but we can play around that. There's not too many other removals that should be up in Fizz's business. Commando is fine. It's in his business, but not getting the kill.
When will I find peace?
Okay. So here, do we ever attack with this Blade Squire? It's like I want the thing, but no. Let's see what we manifest. Doesn't look good to me. Doesn't look very safe. We can still just build up to this big overwhelm attack. It's starting to come together. Interesting set. The Yordle Ranger is not horrible. These scout units are pretty powerful when we're considering, well, what happens if we put Papercraft Dragon on it and give it Overwhelm. But I'm liking this Equinox in that it can also let us just put the dragon onto Fizz and then him not have any elusives to block. I mean, do we have the Overwhelm Fragment? What do we got? Weapon Hilt. We do have the Fragment. Ooh, almost clicked the Ranger. It doesn't feel like we need the unit at this point. Now the big problem we'll have to see here is whether or not he has Yordles in arms, right? If he hits us with the Yordles in arms here, we're gonna be hurting. But if he doesn't have it, we should win the game, I think. Broadwing. Can we save it for post-combat? Can technically get a Ribbon Sword going next turn. He has the 4 mana, so the card to worry about here would be if he has a Golden Aegis, which we can beat. We just lose a couple of we lose a couple of units in the process. All right, let's pass. So he only attacks with the 1. That doesn't feel like a Golden Aegis attack. I think we're okay. The only thing we should have to worry about here would be like a Buster Shot. Sure. Interesting. So do we get more damage in with the Reckoner? It's like we either have to play the sword or we have to play the Reckoner. I think we just play the sword. Well, that no, it's just like so much more damage when you get to hit twice. So if we're only going to play 3, let's do 2 attack. Overwhelm. Is that lethal? 1 short. Elixir.
Violence to end violence.
Okay, enjoy. Enjoy. Have fun. Block at your leisure. You could technically just kill right here with the whirling death, but that feels a little sketch. Got him. Was that 3? That gets up to 4 wins. Nice, nice little climb we're getting in here today. Jump up to the Diamond 3. That's where you start to fall out of... you'll see a lot when you're in Diamond 4 or you're in the Plat 4 or whatever 4 that you... people will rank up to that level and then just play a bunch of meme decks while you're there. You used to see tons and tons and tons of it in Hearthstone as to where... as you just sit like right at rank 5, you just play tons and tons of meme decks, and then once you get up into like 3, then it's just 100% meta decks the whole day. With this, hands like this strike me as odd because it's like we can make we can make the cards, but we don't have the dragon. But it's like the dragon is a pretty rough start to begin with. Right, it's just it's a dead card until you're ready to pop off on them. All right, he doesn't have the old he doesn't have the Vigio deck in his collection over here. I was trying to remember what removals they play. I know that they typically play Vile Feasts. I don't remember if they play the likes of Vengeance. I thought that they were mostly just playing like the Twin Disciplines and then the cards like that are more like combat interactive. They aren't playing like Vengeances and the bigger ones. That's kind of a bummer. He has so many shutdowns on all of our little bros here. Okay, this attack's just too bad. At least with this deck, it's not like the end of the world when our aggression gets shut down like this. You know, we still can boom them for 20 or whatever, but it's definitely a little painful. And we don't have a 3-attack unit to Whirling Death down Kindred with. We'll have to wait until next turn. Get him, got him real good with the puff cap. I like it. I dig it. So what are we gonna do here? Like the Fizz can chunk in damage. Otherwise, just like the Rune Weaver is our only naturally good attack. I think we're good to add this. I really want to focus on trying to take down the Kindred this turn. So that should give us both a Whirling Death and a Pokey Stick that we can use to try and take him down. Overwhelm +2 attack. Okay, let's do +2 attack. All right, you got your good block. And who does the Kindred thing go on to? Little guy down here onto the Blade Squire. Okay. Got to keep this trinket trade on the ready just in case he has a black spear kind of card. But Nice little clear. Gets us pretty close to a lethal with the papercraft. Do you need to make sure we have enough stuff on board to where maybe we should have played an Otterpus last turn. Now it's like if he open hits the Blade Squire with whatever he's doing, then we can his thing will go directly onto Fizz. That's a little scary. We should have put down an Otterpus. F. it comes to bite us right as we mention it. Okay. Got anything cool in here? Weapon Hill's pretty decent. I'm just like curious of what space we're just chunking in for the damage. Like, I think this is starting to come down to just like, does he have a Vengeance or not? And if we're going to play around Vengeance, I think I want to just be picking up these Otterpusses, but we also have to get Riven up to 12 attack. And so she needs like one more +2 to get there, right? She goes up to 4. She gets 2 from the sword, 2 from the fragment, that's 8. She gets an extra +2 that takes her up to 12. And then we have a Whirling Death. I thought she only got up to 10 when you did the full combo. So we needed like one more +2. These are all fun. Let's pick up the Let's pick up the Camp Block one. Do we want to go for another? Let's see what we hit. Yordle Portal, that's not it. I want to go back to the previous one so we get the +2 attack back. Oh, this would have been much easier if the Kindred Pip went onto an Otterpus. Alright, and we were able to get in with a Fizz attack as well. Maybe he'll change his mind and attack with Kindred. You never know. You never know. Vigio. Okay. Yeah, we might have thrown this one away. If it's like as soon as the turn passed, I realized, oh shit, we have an at-risk Fizz. So I think if we had the Otterpus down, now we could hit the 10 with Riven, the 3 from Fizz, and then be there. Let's play Papercraft Dragons. That's one way to do it. So it's 9 mana to put the full combo down, right? The dragon +4 from the Riven Sword, so we do still have 1 mana left for this prank. Fuck. God damn it. I mean, I guess at least we know he has it, but... God damn it. Whoa, quick attack. F. Give you this thing. Where's my sword at? Do we at least have a split on the units here? And drop the vengeance on one, and we have a good attack with the other. There you go. Do your mathematics.
Violence to end violence. Hours.
guess this was bad, right? We could have put the papercraft dragon onto the otter post and then got him back. That was a little sloppy. I just kind of felt like we had to get the papercraft dragon into combat, and I didn't put it onto the otter post, and now we're gonna miss out on it.
No more
Maybe we won't if he doesn't block it with Vigio, but where does this get us? Down to 5? Okay. He left us with the dragon, as opposed to he's taking down the Riven. Okay. Let's see, I have 11 on board, so we're in a space to get killed by a get killed by an atrocity. He has the Hydrovine in the back as well. Where you at, Vigio? He's only seen 3 power dead.
heart and
Okay, probably dead, but he didn't actually do enough to kill us here, and we're living on hopes and dreams at this point, and so we have to drop the elixir beforehand, right? Or he gets to just no block it. Is this really the 3rd fragment? Can we? I'm not familiar enough with this deck to know what their slow spells are. If we get the Riven going as well. Fuck. Well, let's go for the Riven as well. If he's got a like a vengeance or something, then our angle here is still just whirling deathing whatever he blocks. And so if he blocks Riven with Vigio, then we can still come in with the whirling death and maybe get a kill. Same deal with the papercraft dragon. So if we're playing into a vengeance, we have at least another option, right? So if his play here is just play Hydrovine, then that's pretty good for us. So right, we're hoping to attack, he blocks both, and then plays Vengeance. So we see the Vengeance take down one of our units, and then we get the Whirling Death with the other one. Is that enough? Is that a lethal? That's 0. Game says 0. Check that Oracle Eye. That's uncalled for. Uh-oh. We can kill this way. If we take Vigio down to, 0. Game says -7 now. Sure. So close. So close. We could beat 1 card, right? We just couldn't beat 2. Alright, well, let's get ourselves 2 more games in, and then we'll call it a day. It's tough. Those Shadow Isles decks are tough, having to play against Vengeance and the like, but... Okay, Sejuani Gangplank, sure thing. So what do we got? The nice little opener here. Oh, we got the big one. We're just gonna go for it. I like being able to show what you can do with this, and this is the curve. And so, if we're able to trade off this Blade Squire, then we can play Riven on 4 or 3. We'll get the sword on 4, then Papercraft Dragon on 5, and just boom. We're on the odd attack, so this all works out okay as well.
these hands know metal and magic.
Don't be lame, dude. You need to let us kill off our Blade Squire. Don't take this away from us.
Break the ties that bind.
Okay. A little dangerous sending Riven into the mix, but I think we'll go for it. You shouldn't have another like 1 damage, right? The problem with the Riven attack is if he puts the 2 damage on her, and then hits her with a 1 damage ping. All right, here it comes. We're gonna do all this, and he's gonna be like, "I got you, fam. Here's a frostbite." But I did want to pull off the full combo 1 time before the video was over. So let's get this. Oh no! What's this? Monster harpoon. Fuck. So much for trying to have fun, dude. So much for that. You can wait a turn on the Riven Sword, but you miss out on a point or 2 points of damage, which turns into 4 with the dragon. All right, well, we got a pretty big hand here. We can still drop the dragon and maybe get in a big chunk. Is this Sejuani gonna flip? Not yet. Okay. And then I think this is the same deal as the game before, as to where he's never going to be able to just kill the Blade Squire, so we want to put the dragon on our weaker unit. Full board. I'm not exactly sure what this deck plays. It doesn't have it on his history here to the left. I think we have to worry about a frostbite, but not sure to what degree. Start with the trinket trade. We can pick up Wallop. Okay. So that forces a block. Now we have the Might and we have the Wallop to go with it. So if he doesn't have a Flash Freeze or another Monster Harpoon or what have you, then we'll win the game. Sure. Okay, so that failed. At least he doesn't have lethal on board just yet. And so we might get another one in. We don't have the Overwhelm anymore, which is the problem. But we have the Blade Squire to come down here and die. Okay, we can deal with Sejuani. We have the stun in hand. The big thing here is we just don't have the Overwhelm anymore.
I'll be quick. Finger on the trigger.
Finger on the trigger.
Ride onward.
Okay, hooks Blade Squire. Where does this get us? We need to keep 1 unit back. It's gonna get the Frostbite on everything. This Conchologist one is safe. I think I'm okay with being at 2. Alright. Oh, no. Oh, that's so bad. We needed to kill off our Blade Squire. No. Shit. We have ways to do it. We can pokey stick our own Blade Squire, but no, that was bad. And I worry about this. If he has a ping, then the Sejuani Frostbite will shut us down. Love seeing Conchologist here as we need a lot to go our way. He's at least taking forever to pick his card, so maybe that means that he just doesn't have it. But that's bad. That's bad. Oh, we got all the tricks. Okay. Did we get it? Did we get it? Nice. Okay. The Dreadway. We beat the Dreadway, right? I guess he can hit us to face for a little bit of damage, but I think we beat the Dreadway. Where's our Overwhelm? Ugh, fuck. Okay. Alright, alright. A little bit too much interactivity for us there. That feels like that should be like a pretty decent matchup though, right? The only ways that they're gonna have to interact with our big combo are gonna be Monster Harpoon, which he drew 2 copies of, and then they might play something like Three Sisters. I'm not exactly sure on the spell suite coming out of this deck, but it seems like the only removal that they should have would be the Monster Harpoon, and then they're counting on like shitty AoEs the rest of the way. So, all right, let's see what we can do here. We saw on the matchup screen. This is apparently a matchup to where the scouts are a 75% favorite. So we'll get to see firsthand how abysmal this matchup is supposed to be. Well, we got the sword draw. That's kind of nice. All right, we can do some big bowman here. Most certainly do some big bowman. Okay. Need some double attack though. How quick can we go after this? Right, we can of course generate the sword here and then get 2 attacks in next turn, but that's not enough for a win. I think we need to build up here a little bit more. Wallop seems safe. Whew, keep sneezing today. Gotta keep pausing the video, but I think this is fine. He's going to get the challenge with the Fleet Feather, but we do have the Pokey Stick to end this. Not super worried about this 3 damage coming out of the Sergeant. And now I think we might actually be okay. The idea that we're assembling here is we're going to get this quick attack challenge out of Riven. He doesn't have any challengers at the moment, so we shouldn't have to worry about like a Petricite Broadwing into like a challenger attack, and then so hopefully next turn is when he's going to have to be going after Riven. But we have the Wallop for that. And so I think we might get some big damage in here and have this game sequence in our favor. Now, as we build up this Riven and he goes, herder, here's a concerted strike. Like it just kind of is what it is. But I think we've actually got ourselves in a pretty good space here to beat scouts. Okay. Here's the big attack. Looks good. Let's go ahead and get down the Yordle Squire so that we have a... Well, where are we at? We're going to be at 7 mana next turn. We can't lethal with Riven. We could put Riven down and then... Midnight Reckoner, but that's not going to be enough. Let's get another blocker. He does have 4 Demacia. He does have the Tattered Banner. That's all fairly scary, but I think we can block through this. Right, we're going to have a stun for the Overwhelms. Or a stun for the Scouts. Right, let's wallop you. Okay. Certainly going to attack again. Let's just prevent where we can. Boop, boop. Take us to 10, sure. All right, all right. So now we have this lined up again. We can get a big attack coming through with Riven, and then we can follow up with a Ruined Reckoner. I think that's okay. We need one more damage. See where this gets us. Like, it's kind of a similar spot to those previous games, into where we need to just chunk in just a little bit more damage. We might have just done it. I think this is okay now. But if we're only getting to attack in with the one more unit, we should want that damage stacked up on top of one.
I serve a nobler cause.
We did it. Boomed him. Nice. So a nice little 5-3 record. Managed to take down the scouts, which is one of the worst ones. I thought we were going to be a 4-4 here, but we did it at the end of the day. And so we can get the deck pulled up again. I think it's kind of an interesting archetype. I'm not sure how much I like it. Again, you could see those decks to where we played against like the Vengeance decks, and it was just horrible, right? I would think that the place that you're really wanting this to be is if you're able to play against a bunch of well, in essence, like the idea of Bandle City, right? But Bandle City's trying to like go wide and then take advantage of that width somehow, whether or not it's with like, you know, unit boosting or fairy boosting or whatever. But there's just so much going on with them nowadays between just having literally every answer in the game and then ways to generate those. And so you would have to be playing around stress defense. You have to play around Narstun. You have to play around the Conchologist that generates all of them. You have like some stuff coming out of Loping Telescope. You have all of the Fey generation that you have to kind of deal with to a degree, and you have to worry about pokey sticks coming in and popping some of your plays. And so it's like, I think with what at least I envision the idea of Bandle City to be, it should be okay, but it's just not. It's just not. And so I think if you're able to kind of like move out and away from like the Bandle City style control decks and the mid-range decks, and then if there's just a bunch of just like burn decks, say like the Ziggs half of the Bandle City style decks, where they're playing like really aggro Gnar Ziggs and Ziggs Talias and stuff that just doesn't have the interactivity, I think it could be okay. And so yeah, so in terms of, you know, playing this in the Gauntlet, I'm not like really convinced that I want to bring it tomorrow. I feel like this is one of these decks to where opponent is gonna like see our lineup, they're just gonna be banning scouts, and then you run into this spot again as to where you have to take this into a bad matchup, or you have like you have to like hope that you pick your good matchup for this into your opponent's good matchup, and you don't have to get 2 wins in a row with it, and awkward things like that. But I mean, some of these matchups are like clearly good. Like the things that we were just spot on talking about, right? You have things like Pyrexi, that's the Lurkers, they don't have any interactivity. Teemo Tristana Gnar is the Yordles in Arms deck, they don't have any interactivity big enough to deal with our thing outside of Conchologist generating it. You're going to see things like, where was it at? Caitlyn Ezreal, right? This one does have removal and it has the flashbang traps, but it's not big enough to take down your Papercraft Dragon units. And then as you go to like the bad matchups, we're just banning Yuumi Pantheon, but the other bad matchups you see like Quinn Misfortune, which has a bunch of, you know, like Concerted Strike type removal in it, a bunch of challengers in it, and then kind of the same thing down here with Action Sivir. And so it's just, I think this is, you know, a reasonable deck. I think we would just have to like craft our lineup around it a little bit more, and I like our lineup with the Suppressor Scouts and the Action Sivir, and I think the third deck being Talia Ziggs just gives us a little bit more flexibility in terms of, you know, if we play against a three mid-rangey style deck lineup, So say we play Yuumi Pantheon, we play against Trundle Gnar, and we play against Senna Vagar Darkness, then it's like we're going to ban Yuumi Pantheon, but then I don't feel like super good about taking this against both Darkness and Gnar, whereas I feel a little bit better about taking Talia Ziggs into those matchups. And so I think that's what we'll see in tomorrow's video. I'm looking to get the gauntlet going. I assume they've reset by then. I've messed that up many times before. It seems like they come out on Fridays, and I just have to wait until the afternoon to get the video together. But I think we'll be running that same lineup again. I'll see if I want to make some tweaks to them in the meantime, but I don't think Fizz Riven is going to make the cut for us today. I think this is certainly a viable deck. I just don't think it's a good deck in the lineup that we're bringing. And so that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. You learned how to papercraft your dragons a little bit better. Does that even make any sense? You learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.